To me,
I feel like we've done a lot of word problems already up to this point. Okay, so that's kind of why we put a main focus on chapter 1. We'll put a pretty pretty good focus on chapter 2, because a lot of it is how do we solve those equations. Okay, some of this may look familiar, but may show you some different things that will help you. Okay, all that good stuff. So basically, we're just taking those word problems and we're translating or putting them into equations that I can solve or help me solve the problem, right? In chapter 1, we did expressions. What's the difference between expressions and equations? Say again, then. Good. It's all about the equal sign, right? If I have an equal sign, can I solve it? It depends, doesn't it? What's it depend on? What are you doing when you're solving equations? Depends on what? How many variables I have. Good, Paul. Depends on how many variables. Here's an example 1. Example 1, translate sentences into equations. You write this down? Write this down. Another thing that I would do is, on the side of your notes, I would make an equal list. And what I mean by that are what are some terms that can equal or mean equal. The two main ones that you'll see is and same as is a good one, and then equal to. Those are all terms that you're going to see. When you see those terms, that means, Tyler, are you going to pay attention, or are you going to, you might want to write some stuff down. Am I asking you to do too much? No. Oh, okay. When you see those words, or when you see that verbiage, it always means an equal sign. Okay, so translate this sentence into an equation. What would I put for a number b? Now what you can do a lot of times too is just write it right underneath. I'm just going to put b right there. Divided, what would I put? Division sign by 3. Now here's your is right here, so what does that mean? It didn't even tell you. 6 less than c. Should I put the 6 after or before?
Before.
After. Should go after. Because that term right there, right? Less than means you got to put it at the end. Why is that important? Because of the negatives and positive numbers? Right? Now, is there a different way I can write this? How else can I write it? Write this one down too. B over 3 equals C minus 6. How do I do what? Just like I did? Well, this one you can't solve it. How come you can't solve this one? Right, exactly. I mean, there's 2 unknowns, isn't there? If I have 2 unknowns, there's no way I can solve it. Now, if they told me that C is 4, then I just plug 4 in there and I go to work. Makes sense, right? So now, am I done here? Is this as far as I can go? That's it. Example B, translate this sentence into an equation. Same thing, you got 15. And I just, as I read it, I'm just going to write it down in either numbers or symbols. 15 more then, that implies what? Plus z times 6. So I need to put 6 where? And you put it in front, right? Equal sign times 6 is y times 2. So does 2 go in front or at the end?
In front.
Good.
Does it matter?
Yeah, it matters big time. And it will matter for like when we get to chapter 4, when we have to start graphing lines.
Wait, so
Okay.
how do you know that you put it in front?
Anytime you show multiplication between a variable and a number, put it in front. Okay? What's next here? Let's slow. Now, is there another way I can write that? I can say what? 6z plus 15 equals so on and so forth. I can move stuff around, right? As long as it has the proper sign in front of it. Everybody good? Okay, write this one down. Translate the sentence into a formula. Now, you guys understand what the difference between a formula and an equation is? Is an equation a formula?
No.
Not all the time, but is a formula an equation? All the time. Okay, now, here's the deal with formulas. Formulas are fixed equations. Does that make sense? Write that down. Formulas basically just means that it's fixed. What do I mean by fixed? It's not going to change, is it? What's the only thing that will change?
The equation.
The numbers that I put in for, that I plug in for the variables, right? And you guys already know a bunch of formulas, right? Which one right off the top of your head? Area equals length times width, or base times height, 1/2. I mean, you guys know a ton of them, right? Perimeter equals 4s.
A equals pi r squared.
Okay, there's a whole bunch of them, right? Those are always fixed. There's nothing that's going to change about them, is there? Okay. So now, if I want to translate here, the perimeter, what would I use for perimeter? Capital P or lowercase p? Needs to be a capital P. Perimeter of a squared equals, put equals there, 4 times the length of the side. So what would I put after the 4? L. Now I know it's, what do I know about a square?
All sides are equal.
All sides are equal. That's why I can just put what? 1L. Does that make sense? Now that's fixed. Now the reason why we talk about this is for this reason alone. Can I solve that equation the way it is?
No.
Okay. Here's the deal though, and you're going to have a bunch of these on your EOY. Okay. How do I solve this equation for L? What number though? I don't know what the number is.
If you get the perimeter, plug in for P.
Right, but I don't know that. I still have to solve for L. What's it solved for right now?
P equals 4.
It's solved for P. How do I know it's solved for P?
It's on the other side equals.
What else is next to the P?
1.
So it's pretty much what? You guys listen to this. Some of you guys listening? Since P is by itself, it is technically solved for P. So guys, understand that concept, because we're gonna get to some problems that you're gonna have a hard time with. Okay, we've already worked a few. How do I solve this for L?
4 divided by P.
Just divide it by 4 on both sides. Now what happens? Is the L by itself?
Yes.
The L is by itself, isn't it? Have I solved it for L?
Yep.
Yes. Even though I don't know the numbers, I don't know any values, okay? I have solved it for L, technically, because it is by itself. You guys understand that concept? We're going to get to some of those and you're going to be confused. You might even want to write in there Draw you a little arrow. Solve. Solve for L. Sorry. Okay? Example 3. Translate equations into sentences. We're doing basically the same thing, only going in the opposite direction now. Okay? When I do these, I like to kind of spread it apart. Notice how it's kind of spread out, isn't it? And just basically right underneath it. What would I put for 12? And I would suggest this. Not want to write this on there. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. For 12, what would I put? Just the word 12. For that one, what would I put?
Minus.
Right. Even though there's some other terms, aren't there? And you can put it less than, subtracted by, the difference of, just put minus. 12 minus what? 2 times a number, right? Now, can I list the number?
Yes.
Do I have to here?
No,
Why?
there's only one variable.
Very good. There's only one variable. 12 minus 2 times a number. Well, but equals are just what?
Is.
Is.
Figure.
I'm done. Pretty simple, huh? Example B. I don't need to put all this, hopefully you've already written that down, haven't you?
Yep.
Just write the problem down. Okay, now, one thing I want you to notice right off the bat, how many variables do you have?
2.
We've got 3. Are they different variables?
Yep.
Okay, now then, make sure your wording, that it states that. Okay, what do you want to put for the first one? Good. I would do the same thing. A number squared plus, very good, who said that? Very nice. 3 times another number equals what? Or we could just say is.
Another number.
Why don't you just say, this is what I would use, just use the quotient of C and 6. That way I don't have to use what? I don't have to say another number or a different number. Okay.
Do we finish these?
Well, I'll decide it tomorrow. We're done. We're done with the notes. Tomorrow, we'll work on it in class tomorrow. Does that sound all right?
Yes,